Hi, I'm Mike Reynolds, a senior reporter covering the media industry with S&P Global Market Intelligence, tech, media, and telecom news team. Welcome to MediaTalk, a podcast hosted by S&P Global, where the news and research staff explore issues in the ever-evolving media landscape. On this episode, we're doing a special edition of MediaTalk in celebration of Thanksgiving. We're going to take a look back at some of our in-depth conversations with industry insiders. We're going to start with Tom Montemagno, Executive Vice President of Programming Acquisition at Charter, which has charted a leadership position with a hybrid approach, building traditional linear programming options and channels with free access to streaming packages. Let's go back to the story. Tom, when did Spectrum decide it wanted to go seamless, so to speak? And what was the thinking, your sensibilities in moving in this transformative direction?
There were a lot of things happening in the video space. The pace of customer decline was accelerating a little bit. Our customers were migrating a little more into some of the cheaper, skinnier packages that we offer. We were not bundling video with broadband sales at that point. And there was this proliferation of streaming where our perception was that there was investment pivot from linear into streaming and creating the dynamic that our customers either were losing access to content or not receiving content that we thought they should be receiving as part of their subscription. And then lastly, we had this really energetic new CEO come in with just bold ideas, wanting to really transform the video product and make it something that we could be proud to put on the customer's bills again. All of that sort of was happening at the time that we were facing renewal with Disney, ESPN, who, arguably is the most important service on the lineup and our biggest customer.
Sure. So that was late August, September of 23. I think you guys were disconnected for maybe 10 or 11 days. Tom, if you can bring us back to that, what did they want? What did you want? And you guys came together after a little bit.
Yeah, look, the end game there was a transformative deal that was a win. So for us, for Disney and for customers and the industry at large. And yeah, we had that hiccup. If we were going to do a long-term deal, we were aiming to include the streaming product for our customers for free in the deal. And I think we had shared our vision with Disney early on in the negotiation and they were supportive. I think it was just a time and a place where they hadn't made some strategic decisions yet about how they were going to address the streaming product with distributors. And this deal forced their hand a little bit to make some decisions on their future strategy. But getting past that, they definitely saw that this was the best for the health of the TV ecosystem in general. Then to this day, they're one of our biggest supporters in helping us be successful with it.
So Tom, that was the first quote unquote seamless experience deal, and many others have followed since then.
Correct. We had been in this sort of dynamic, if you will, where I was doing short-term deals with everyone because it was hard to envision the future and what the product would look like if we were getting the right price value relationship. And with content sort of seeping away from linear to streaming, we were doing a lot of short-term deals to protect our interest and be able to reevaluate should things change dramatically. Okay. So in a matter of 15 months or so, we cycled through all of our major deals and we were able to achieve the Disney model, which is really the catalyst with all the major programmers in a very short period of time because we had been doing these short-term arrangements. 3 key partners were so supportive and excited about the strategy that we created with Disney that we actually did early renewals with them because they wanted to participate in the worst way. And so in a very short period of time, we really were able to transform the model with all the major programmers.
Next up, it's John Lasker. John is the Senior Vice President of ESPN Direct to Consumer, and he has played an integral role in the development and now the launch of ESPN DTC Enhanced App. No pressure here, John, but I think Disney CEO Bob Iger has called ESPN DTC Enhanced App product as being one of the most important steps ESPN has taken really since it secured full season NFL rights, which was a long time ago. So do you feel the pressure?
No, we don't. I think we're always under pressure. And it's under pressure to deliver to sports fans, right? That is our mission. And again, this is our next step in being able to do that. And we're really excited about it. This is all just a new foundation for us to start serving sports fans in more compelling and unique ways.
I got you. The platform and the technology side, though, the bedrock of this product is everything you guys have. This is ESPN2, News, Deportes, the SEC network, the ACC network, your ESPN on ABC, ESPN Plus, 3, SECN, ACCNX. All told, I think, was it 48,000 live events, all the on-demand you have, all of the studio shows for $29.99 a month. John, this is the entire ESPN enchilada?
This is all of it. Yeah. One of the core things that we're excited about here is really simplifying our content offering, right? Where you could get all of ESPN all in one place, right? That is the tagline that we have out there in the marketplace, our marketing campaign. Make it really simple for fans, right? Not to distinguish between networks and channels. One subscription in one app, get all of ESPN.
And to even further simplify this, the new product can be bundled with Disney Plus and Hulu for the same price at $29.99 a month over the next year. John, as you look at this, is this being aimed at people that are not in the traditional linear landscape? This is the cord nevers, cord cutters, maybe young people that never gravitated to their parents' TV watching platforms.
That's right, Mike. What we're trying to do here is deliver a direct-to-consumer product that allows ESPN to be available to more people than ever before. Again, our mission to serve sports fans. Sports fans are everywhere, so we're trying to be everywhere.
Jimmy Pitaro, I think, is a scorecard of that number, like 60 million. So there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that have either left the ecosystem or have decided not to enter the MVPD ecosystem. And also, it's really important to note that the product that we're unlocking, we're making it available to that MVPD ecosystem as well, right? So we're not trying to create a product to pull people out. We want people to be subscribers of ESPN and be subscribers however they decide to be subscribers. And if they want to be a subscriber through an MVPD service, we're extremely excited about that. And we are going to make the ESPN DTC product available to those subscribers as we would those that decide to come to us directly. And your point on the Disney Plus and Hulu bundle, we're really excited about that. And it'll be clear that is a priority for us when you start seeing the marketing campaigns and the messaging. And obviously the pricing in itself is a highlight of that, it being $29.99, which is the same price of the ESPN Unlimited on its own. And we think that's an amazing offer, right? To suggest you get the best of sports, you have the best of family entertainment, and the best of general entertainment with Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN all together in one package. We think it is super compelling, and we're expecting a lot of great feedback on that.
Next up, it's Brad Ramsey. Brad is Senior Vice President and Head of Sports Rights for the station group TEGNA. For those who don't know, TEGNA has deals with 14 NBA, NHL, MLB, and WNBA teams over the past year. It's a varied package with complete local rights for several clubs, 20-game packs with a couple of others, and a number of carve-out deals. Brad, can you just give our MediaTalk listeners a brief overview of what your roster looks like?
You gave a pretty good summary, Mike, but I'm happy to expand on it. And your listeners, our listeners, could probably tell by your description that there's a lot of variety in the deals. We have 14 partnerships. We're proud to be the first broadcaster to have full season local rights agreements across each of the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and WNBA. And no two of the 14 partnerships look exactly alike. We have full rights, all games, and sell all sponsorships in Dallas and Seattle. We have 20 games each with the Nuggets and Avs and our good partners at Kroenke Sports and Entertainment in Denver. We've expanded our WNBA portfolio. It started with the Indiana Fever, and we expanded to include the Dallas Wings this past summer. And we had a lot of fun and a lot of success with 4 Major League Baseball deals this past summer that involved 10 games in each of Denver, Phoenix, Cleveland, and San Diego.
Very cool. Very good. So a lot of this has occurred given the major transformation of the RSN space in recent years. Diamond Sports in Chapter 11 for 21 months. It's now mainstream sports. There's been a lot of movement in terms of teams with different partners now. Is it a kind of a back to the future concept for you guys in terms of stations getting back into the local rights game, Brad?
I think that's a fair way to put it. I have often said it's a classic case of what's old is new again.
Okay.
And it's working well. This journey started for me and for TEGNA in what I call the modern sports distribution era. The first week of April 2023, as you alluded to, Diamond had just declared bankruptcy. It was a long process. Our CEO called me that first week of 2023 and said, let's look into this and see if there is a there. And then there was and is. And I think it all starts with the fan. We saw an opportunity to reach more fans in more homes with more games. That's a win for fans, and fans really like that it's easier to find games and in many cases free for them to access the games. And teams really like that because teams, these are big businesses, the franchises and partners that we work with, they're in the game of growing as much as they're in the game of sports, and they want to reach more people in more homes with more games. And we have found a strategy and a path to be good partners for them in the right situation. As Mike, from our past conversations, I like to say, first and foremost, the rights have to be available. And an influx of rights hit the market in 2023 as a result of this process. That RSN closed up shop in some markets, continued in others. And then their emergence from bankruptcy included negotiations with the leagues that allowed for some of the carve-out deals that we have done. So there was a large number of teams and rights that hit the market in 2023. There were a lot of teams, and the leagues were concerned about that RSN being a going concern for the 2023-2024 season. They made it through that season. They emerged, and things have settled down a bit. And for now, when rights will become available, where they will become available is a little bit more of a predictable pattern.
Next up, it's Mark Penn, who is chairman and CEO of Stagwell, which is a digital-first marketing network. Mark's career spans over 40 years. Before founding Stagwell, he served at Microsoft as executive VP and chief strategy officer, managing some $2 billion in advertising. He was the founder and CEO of Penn, Show and Berlin, the market research firm that he sold to WPP. At WPP, he also became CEO of Burson Marsteller, one of the world's largest PR firms. For 6 years, Mark served as White House pollster to President Bill Clinton and was the chief strategist of his 1996 re-election campaign. Stagwell, as I mentioned, is a digital-first global marketing network that delivers scalable, seamless solutions through a combination of top creativity and leading-edge technology. Headquartered in New York, Stagwell also has a significant presence in Washington, D.C., and operates in more than 45 countries overall and counts 13,000 employees. My introduction hardly does Stagwell justice. Mark, can you give us a sense for the company, its various agency, its missions, and how did you bring this all together?
Sure. Look, I really had, as your introduction suggested, decades of experience across all of the disciplines in marketing. And you know what? I said, look, most of the big companies out there, the behemoths of marketing, they're behind the times. They're not digital first. They're having trouble adapting to the technology world. Actually, when Steve Ballmer exited Microsoft, he said to me, that idea you had for a new marketing company, I'll be your core investor. And so 9 years ago, Steve and I really set out to create Stagwell. And 9 years later, after a reverse merger to another marketing company that put us on NASDAQ, we're 13,000 employees in 45, maybe even 50 countries. At this point, we're one of the world's biggest providers, although we're still the challenger network because we're coming up in scale. And as we come up in scale, we provide core marketing services, advertising the type you see on the Super Bowl, social media that you see online, public relations, great research with the Harris Poll. We provide media and e-commerce. We provide extensive digital transformation, whether you see the CNN Magic Wall or the NBC Olympic site. And we have a strong advocacy group that works in politics and political campaigns. And finally, we have what we call the Marketing Cloud, which is a suite of self-service tools. So our vision here is to be the next great marketing company and to cover the field from global full service down to platform self-service. And I always say at our kind of 9-year anniversary now, we're just a teenager. Whatever you see of what we are today, we're going to be a lot bigger tomorrow.
You guys have a 5x5 initiative by 2029. Give our listeners, Mark, a little bit of sense for what you're looking to accomplish.
Exactly. In the last 9 years, we've come from zero to close to $3 billion company. And our goal is in the next 5 years to get to a $5 billion company, to do that with a combination of organic growth, which I think is going to be fueled by the scale that we take on so that we get bigger clients. We're just winning, for example, our first government contracts. And that's a market that should be 10 or 15% of our business. AI contracts are coming in on the digital transformation side. Larger clients are coming in. So to get to 5 billion in the next 5 years. And of course, we're also active in the M&A space as a growth company, and that M&A is an important part of that growth.
The marketing cloud, it's your tech-enabled marketing system. Can you give us a little bit more depth here?
Sure. I think that we've been doing AI before AI was a thing. So we have a whole sense of communications tools that help write news releases, figure out who's going to cover them, do all the placement for you. They really take something that might take somebody 10 hours in the old days and reduce it to an hour. We have global media monitoring that tells you what everybody is saying and gives you an AI-based report on it. We have an influencer marketing platform so that you can run influencer campaigns, which are increasingly popular. We have do-it-yourself research. We have communities. We have automated brand tracking. We have an incredible suite of products for people in media, research, and communications. We just renamed it the Marketing Cloud. In the long term, we want to create some investment opportunities around this. These are primarily SaaS-based, software products that come out of our central innovation team here that does innovation for all the agencies and for the cloud itself.
It sounds like AI, you guys have been involved with it quite some time. The whole world is there now. Meta talked a little bit about it. By the end of 2026, all of its, I guess, creative and planning opportunities will go the AI route. Your take on that, sir? Is that where this world is all heading?
Look, we see AI as our friend because we do a lot of digital transformation, meaning we create a lot of client-centric experiences for companies that are based online. We help design some of the interfaces for some of the tech companies. We are very much a tech company. The FANG companies are typically among our top 4 or 5 clients with extensive relationships across it. So AI is something that's infused in the business, will make it somewhat more efficient, will make production much easier because you can create images that you couldn't create before. But it's also, I think, going to change how every company relates and communicates to its customers. And our code and theory network is very much at the front line of what's called agentic AI.
All right, we're getting to the end here, Mark. John Cahan recently became Stagwell's inaugural Chief AI Officer. What's he involved with? Is there a particular mandate that you've put him in charge of?
Yeah, I was very pleased. I knew John at Microsoft. He was really head of data and analytics at Microsoft, and before that had a similar job at IBM. And he is overseeing our overall AI efforts within the company, within the brands, and particularly overseeing also how we're infusing it into the product. We're as far removed as the old Mad Men kind of image of advertising. It's yes, creativity, but yes, technology and AI, and the two of those together are what can make us the right kind of growth company over time.
That concludes this episode of MediaTalk. This is Mike Reynolds. Thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch up soon on the next episode of MediaTalk. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.